Just in terms of the next steps here in this process, Sahil, what happens now?
The impeachment of President Trump is now moving to the Senate. The House, after a weeks-long standoff with the Republican-led Senate over the procedures of the trial, is voting to transmit them. I believe they have already cast that vote, and they will move to the Senate. Now, as early as Thursday, the senators, all 100 of whom are going to be jurors in that trial, will be sworn in. Then the procedures will be set in terms of how long this is going to go, what potential witnesses are going to come up. There is not a deal yet because the Senate Republican leader, Mitch McConnell, the majority leader, has said he's going to initiate this trial before those procedures are set. That has been the subject of an intense negotiation between Republicans and between Democrats. Democrats say there are certain witnesses who were involved in the direct issue for which the president is being impeached, like John Bolton, the former national security advisor, and Mick Mulvaney, who runs the budget office in the White House and had direct involvement with aid to Ukraine. Democrats want those figures to testify, but Republicans are resisting. They say, and some Republicans say that if those men are going to testify, they want others to testify, such as Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, who was targeted by President Trump in terms of his claims that there was corruption going on in Ukraine, unsubstantiated, I should add, claims.
And Sahil, it's been confirmed now the U.S. House of Representatives has voted to send those articles of impeachment for President Trump to the Senate for trial. We had seen that they had the votes. Well, it's passed, and this is going to the Senate. Sahil, we've already seen some restrictions in place during the impeachment proceedings. Tell us about those and what that will mean for some Democratic presidential candidates.
Well, for the Democratic presidential candidates, this is going to be a very difficult stretch. There are 3 senators right now who were just in the debate yesterday. There are actually 4 senators who are still running for president, including 2 frontrunners in Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. Now, they're going to have to be in Washington for the trial. It's going to be very difficult for them because the early states like Iowa and New Hampshire, they start voting early in February. We don't know how long this trial is going to go, but those voters in those states are accustomed to presidential candidates showing up at their doorstep in person. They want to see them in the flesh, and they typically get to do that. And Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, as well as Amy Klobuchar and Michael Bennet, the other 2 senators running for president, are not going to be able to do that. So it really puts these Democrats at a disadvantage in comparison to someone like Joe Biden or Pete Buttigieg, both of whom are private citizens now and have all the time in the world to campaign in Iowa and New Hampshire. So the advantage right now goes to those men.